Craziest part about this revolution that we started is this album, Straight Outta Compton, was only done in 6 weeks, 5 days a week studio time, you know what I mean? It was crazy how this happened, and it just let me know how powerful I could be.
What makes a song a classic that we will never, ever forget? Is it the beat, the words, or is it something more? We are about to explore the tracks that became the blueprint for all modern music. You will learn the hidden secrets behind these anthems, including one song that was so powerful it accidentally created a whole new style of music. 1. The Sugar Hill Gang, Rapper's Delight. Let us take a trip back in time. It is 1979. Music is changing, but most of the world has not heard of this new thing called hip-hop. It was a style of music happening at parties in the Bronx, New York. You see, it was not something you could buy in a store. It was live. DJs would spin records, and MCs would talk over the beats. Then, a woman named Sylvia Robinson had a big idea. She wanted to put this new party music on a record. She put together a group called the Sugar Hill Gang. What many people do not know is that the members, Wonder Mike, Big Bank Hank, and Master G, were basically discovered at a pizza parlor. They recorded a song called Rapper's Delight. The thing nobody tells you is that they recorded the whole thing, a monster track that was almost 15 minutes long, in just one single take. That is almost unheard of. The beat they used was from a popular disco song called Good Times by the group Chic. This became the first time hip-hop hit the radio waves across the country and even the world. It sold millions of copies and showed that rap music could be a huge success. To put it mildly, it was a game changer. This song was a happy, fun party track. But the next song on our list showed that hip-hop could be about something much more serious. It was a track that would deliver a powerful message nobody saw coming. 2. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. The Message. After Rapper's Delight, most rap songs were about partying and having a good time. They were fun, but they did not really talk about real life. But in 1982, a group from the Bronx called Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five changed everything. They released a song called The Message, and it hit the world like a lightning bolt. For the first time, a major rap song talked about the hard times and struggles of living in a tough neighborhood. The lyrics painted a picture of a city that was falling apart. It talked about stress, poverty, and feeling trapped. The famous line, "Don't push me, 'cause I'm close to the edge," became an anthem for people who felt like they had no voice. What many overlooked is that the main rapper on the track, Melly Mel, was the only member of the group who actually wanted to record the song. The others were afraid it was too serious and that nobody would want to listen to it. Boy, were they wrong. The message proved that hip-hop could be a tool for telling important stories. It became the blueprint for socially conscious rap music for decades to come. This song opened the door for rap to talk about serious stuff. The next group on our list would take that idea and smash down a totally different door, the one separating hip-hop from rock and roll. 3. Run DMC, Walk This Way. By the mid-1980s, Run DMC was already a huge deal in the world of hip-hop. They had a tough new sound. They did not dress in flashy costumes. They wore tracksuits, gold chains, and Adidas sneakers with no laces. They were superstars in their own world. But in 1986, they did something that would make them superstars in every world. They teamed up with a famous rock band called Aerosmith to remake one of their old songs, Walk This Way. At the time, hip-hop and rock music were like two different planets. Fans of one usually did not listen to the other. Many people are crazy about this collaboration, but the thing nobody tells you is that at first, the two groups did not even want to work together. Run DMC thought the original song sounded like hillbilly gibberish. But their producer, Rick Rubin, insisted. The result was pure magic. The music video, which showed the two groups literally breaking down a wall between them, was played constantly on MTV. The song was a massive hit, and it brought hip-hop to a whole new audience of rock fans. It proved that the two styles of music could work together to create something amazing. Run DMC broke down a wall between music genres. The next group on our list wanted to use their music to break down walls in society with a powerful message that would become the theme song for a revolution. 4. Public Enemy, Fight the Power. As the 1980s were coming to an end, hip-hop was getting louder and more political. At the forefront of this movement was a group called Public Enemy. Led by the powerful voice of Chuck D, they made music that was meant to make you think. In 1989, the famous movie director Spike Lee asked them to create a theme song for his new movie, Do the Right Thing. The song they created was Fight the Power, and it was an explosion of sound and anger. The song was a call to action. It was about standing up against injustice and demanding respect. The beat was loud and chaotic, filled with sirens and samples from all over the place. Chuck D's lyrics were smart and direct, taking aim at figures he saw as symbols of a system that was holding people down. A wow factor that many do not realize is that the song contains over 100 different sound samples, layered on top of each other to create a wall of sound. This technique, used by their production team, the Bomb Squad, was revolutionary. Fight the Power became more than just a song. It became an anthem for protests and movements around the world. Public Enemy used their music to challenge authority. But around the same time, a group from the other side of the country was about to challenge authority in a way that was even more direct and shocking. 5. NWA, Straight Outta Compton. In 1988, the world of music was shaken to its core. A group from Compton, California called NWA, which stood for a very bold statement, released their first album. The title track, Straight Outta Compton, was their introduction to the world, and it was loud, aggressive, and unapologetic. The song was a raw description of life in their city, painting a picture of a dangerous place where young men had to be tough to survive. This was the birth of what would be called gangsta rap. The members, including Ice Cube, Eazy-E, and Dr. Dre, told stories that many people had never heard before. They talked about their conflicts with law enforcement and the struggles they faced every day. What many have overlooked is just how controversial this was. The album was so intense that many radio stations refused to play it, yet it sold millions of copies without any major radio support. That is a huge deal. The song and the group became a symbol of rebellion for young people everywhere. They gave a voice to a community that felt ignored and misunderstood. To put it mildly, they changed music forever. NWA's style was raw and in your face. But our next artist showed that you could be tough and intelligent at the same time, changing the way rappers rhymed forever. 6. Eric B. and Rakim, Paid in Full. Before 1987, most rappers rhymed in a simple ABCD pattern. The lyrics were often fun and straightforward. Then came a man named Rakim. Along with his DJ, Eric B., he released the album Paid in Full. The title track and the whole album was a masterclass in a new way of rapping. Rakim's style was smooth, complex, and poetic. He rhymed inside his lines, not just at the end. He used bigger words and more complicated ideas. He made rapping sound like effortless, cool jazz. The song Paid in Full is all about being the best and getting what you have earned. But the real star is Rakim's flow. He sounded so relaxed and confident on the microphone, it was like nothing anyone had ever heard before. Many people are crazy about the famous remix of this song, but the thing nobody tells you is that Rakim himself reportedly disliked the popular dance version. He felt it took away from the serious, cool vibe of the original. Regardless, his influence was immediate. After Rakim, every serious rapper had to step up their game. He raised the bar for what it meant to be a lyricist. Rakim showed how cool and complex rap could be. But at the same time, another rapper from New York was about to show that hip-hop could also be soft and romantic. 7. LL Cool J, I Need Love. LL Cool J was one of hip-hop's first true superstars. He was known for his tough, bragging rhymes on songs like I'm Bad and Rock the Bells. He was the king of hard-hitting hip-hop. So, in 1987, when he released a song called I Need Love, everyone was shocked. It was a slow, soft, and romantic ballad. In the song, LL was not bragging about how tough he was. He was talking about wanting to find true love and companionship. This was a huge risk. At the time, showing a softer side was not common in hip-hop. Many thought it would ruin his tough guy image, but the opposite happened. I Need Love became a massive hit. It was one of the first rap songs to ever make it into the top 20 on the main music charts. What many overlooked is that this song basically invented a new genre, the rap ballad. It opened the door for countless other rappers to talk about love and relationships in their music. It showed that rappers could be tough but also have feelings, making them more relatable to a wider audience. LL Cool J showed a softer side of hip-hop. Meanwhile, three guys from the same city were about to take over the world by being as loud and obnoxious as possible. 8. Beastie Boys, You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party, 1986. Who would have thought that three punk rock kids from New York City would become one of the most important groups in hip-hop history? The Beastie Boys, made up of Mike D, MC, and Ad Rock, did just that. In 1986, they released their first album, Licensed to Ill. The album's biggest hit was a song that sounded like a teenage anthem, You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party. The song was loud, funny, and rebellious. It had crunchy rock guitars mixed with a hip-hop beat. The music video was a huge hit on MTV, showing a wild house party getting completely out of control. The song was meant to be a joke, a parody of all the dumb party songs that were popular at the time. But here is the kicker. People took it seriously. It became a real party anthem for kids all over the world. The album itself was a massive success, becoming the first rap album ever to hit #1 on the Billboard charts. The Beastie Boys brought a new, wild energy to hip-hop and proved that the culture was for everyone. The Beastie Boys made history with a #1 album, but years before them, another artist made history with a song that was all about the simple sound of a drum machine. 9. Curtis Blow, The Breaks. In the very early days of recorded hip-hop, Curtis Blow was a true pioneer. He was one of the first rappers to sign with a major record label. In 1980, he released a song called The Breaks, and it became a worldwide smash. The song is simple but incredibly catchy. It is all about the breaks of life, both the good breaks and the bad breaks. But it also refers to the break in a song, the part with just drums that people would dance to. The song is famous for its long, chanted chorus where Curtis just repeats the word break over and over again with different sounds. It was a perfect party song that anyone could dance to. What many people do not know is the amazing achievement of this track. The Breaks was the first rap song ever to be certified gold, which means it sold over 500,000 copies. That was a massive accomplishment for a hip-hop artist at the time. It proved that this new genre was not just a fad, it was a real business. Curtis Blow helped pave the way for all the rap superstars who would come after him. The Breaks was a simple song that made a huge impact. The next song on our list was also simple in its production, but it became famous for its incredible storytelling and its unique main character. 10. Slick Rick, La-Dee-Da-Dee. Some songs are famous for their beat. Others are famous for their message. But the song La-Dee-Da-Dee is famous for its story and its style. Released in 1985 by Slick Rick and his partner Doug E. Fresh, this track is a masterpiece of hip-hop storytelling. What is amazing is that the song has almost no music. It is just Slick Rick's voice and Doug E. Fresh's beatboxing, which is making drum sounds with his mouth. In the song, Slick Rick, with his signature British accent, tells a long, funny, and detailed story about his day. He wakes up, gets ready, and runs into a girl who tries to play him. The way he tells the story is so creative and visual, it is like watching a movie. To put it mildly, this song's influence is off the charts. Believe it or not, La-Dee-Da-Dee is one of the most sampled and referenced songs in the history of all music. Hundreds of artists, from Snoop Dogg to Beyoncé, have borrowed lines and ideas from it. It is a testament to the power of a great story and a unique voice. Slick Rick told a story about a tricky situation. The next group on our list also told stories about tricky situations, but their stories were much harder and came from a much tougher place. 11. Boogie Down Productions, Criminal Minded. In the late 1980s, a new, harder sound was emerging from the Bronx. At the center of it was a group called Boogie Down Productions, or BDP for short. The group was made up of the brilliant rapper KRS-One and the DJ Scott LaRock. Their first album, Criminal Minded, released in 1987, was a landmark. The title track was a gritty and raw look at street life. The song had a tough, reggae-influenced beat and lyrics that were incredibly smart. KRS-One was not just bragging, he was dropping knowledge. He talked about the realities of his environment in a way that was both intelligent and intimidating. But here is where the story gets truly heavy. What many overlooked is the tragic event that followed this album's release. Shortly after the album came out, DJ Scott LaRock was tragically lost in a conflict while trying to help a friend. This event changed KRS-One forever. He went on to become the Teacher, using his music to educate people and promote peace. But the album Criminal Minded remains a powerful document of a harder, more realistic style of hip-hop. KRS-One was known as the Teacher. The next artist on our list was also a teacher, but his lessons were all about how to be the smoothest and most skilled rapper in the game. 12. Big Daddy Kane, Ain't No Half-Steppin'. When you talk about the greatest rappers of all time, you have to mention Big Daddy Kane. In the late 80s, he was the total package. He had the cool clothes, the slick hairstyle, and most importantly, the incredible skills on the microphone. His 1988 song, Ain't No Half-Steppin', is a perfect showcase of his talent. The title means you cannot be lazy or mess around. You have to give it your all. And in the song, Kane certainly does. Over a smooth, funky beat, Big Daddy Kane delivers some of the most complex and fast-paced rhymes the world had ever heard. His flow was incredible. He could rap fast, then slow down, then speed up again, all without missing a beat. His lyrics were full of clever wordplay and confident bragging. He set a new standard for what it meant to be a technically skilled MC. Many people are crazy about his fast rapping, but the thing nobody tells you is that he was also a huge influence on hip-hop fashion. His high-top fade haircut and gold ropes became an iconic look for a generation. Big Daddy Kane was all about being cool and confident. The next group on our list had a completely different style. They were all about being weird, positive, and just being yourself. 13. De La Soul, Me, Myself, and I. By 1989, a lot of hip-hop had a very tough image. But a trio from Long Island, New York called De La Soul came along and changed all that. Their music was colorful, positive, and full of strange humor. Their biggest hit, Me, Myself, and I, was a celebration of being different. The song's message was simple. It is okay to not fit in. Just be yourself. The music was different too. Instead of using the same old drum breaks, they sampled all sorts of weird and wonderful sounds, including a rock band called Funkadelic. The music video was bright and silly, showing the group in a classroom making fun of the cool kid stereotypes in hip-hop. They called their style the DAISY age, which stood for Da Inner Sound, Y'all. A wow factor is that their first album, 3 Feet High and Rising, had so many different samples that it led to major legal battles over music ownership. These cases changed the rules for how all producers had to clear their samples from then on. De La Soul brought a fresh, new, and positive vibe to hip-hop. De La Soul created a new sound by sampling from all over the place. The next group was also known for their amazing use of samples, creating a sound that was pure, head-nodding funk. 14. EPMD, Strictly Business. EPMD, which stands for Eric and Parrish Making Dollars, were all about two things: rhymes and funk. The duo, made up of Eric Sermon and Parrish Smith, had a sound that was laid back but incredibly hard-hitting. Their 1988 debut single, Strictly Business, is a perfect example of their style. The beat is built around a sample from a rock song, I Shot the Sheriff, but they flipped it in a way that made it pure hip-hop. The two rappers had a unique back-and-forth style. They would trade rhymes in a slow, relaxed, almost monotone way that sounded incredibly cool. They were not yelling or trying to rap a million miles a minute. They were just confident and in control. The thing nobody tells you is just how influential their sound was. EPMD's heavy use of deep, funky bass lines and obscure samples became a signature sound for much of the hip-hop that came out of the East Coast in the early 90s. They were one of the most consistent groups ever, always delivering that classic, funky hip-hop that fans loved. EPMD's funk was for chilling out. The next song on our list was a high-energy banger that was made for one thing and one thing only: dancing. 15. Rob Bass and DJ EZ Rock, It Takes Two. In the summer of 1988, you could not go anywhere without hearing one song. That song was It Takes Two by Rob Bass and DJ EZ Rock. It was and still is one of the greatest party songs ever made. The track is built on a high-energy vocal sample from a 1972 song by Lynn Collins called Think About It. The woo, yeah, part of the beat is instantly recognizable to almost everyone. Over this exciting beat, Rob Bass delivers fun, upbeat lyrics about dancing and having a good time. His energy is infectious. The song is pure joy. What many have overlooked is the song's incredible staying power. Decades after it was released, It Takes Two is still played at weddings, sporting events, and parties all over the world. It has been used in countless movies and TV shows. It is a timeless classic because it captures the pure, simple fun that hip-hop was built on. It is a song that is guaranteed to make you want to get up and move. It Takes Two used a famous vocal sample to get the party started. The next song used a very simple but powerful beat that would become one of the most famous drum patterns in hip-hop history. 16. Audio 2, Top Billin'. Sometimes the simplest things are the most powerful. That is definitely the case for the 1987 song Top Billin' by the group Audio 2. The group was made up of two brothers, Milk D and Gizmo. The song is famous for its beat. It is a raw, stripped-down drum machine pattern that is incredibly powerful. It sounds empty but heavy at the same time. This beat, known as the Impeach the President break, became legendary. Over this iconic beat, Milk D raps in a unique, high-pitched voice. He is bragging about being the best, a classic hip-hop topic, but his style and the raw power of the beat made it sound completely fresh and new. Top Billin' became a holy grail for hip-hop producers. The beat was sampled and reused by countless other artists, from Dr. Dre to Mary J. Blige. To put it mildly, it is one of the most important beats in the history of the genre. It is a perfect example of how sometimes less is more. The song was about being on top. But our next song is a cautionary tale about something much more personal: the people you choose to have around you. 17. Houdini, Friends. In the world of 80s hip-hop, the group Houdini carved out their own special place. They mixed rap with R&B and electronic sounds, creating a smooth style that was perfect for the radio. Their 1984 hit, Friends, is one of their most famous and enduring songs. It is a simple song with a powerful and timeless message. The chorus asks a question we have all thought about. Friends, how many of us have them? The song is a story about betrayal and fake friends. The rappers, Jaleel and Ecstasy, tell stories about people who are only around you when times are good but disappear when you need help. It is a lesson that everyone can relate to, no matter how old they are or where they are from. What many people do not know is that the song's spooky, synth-heavy beat was created by a producer named Larry Smith, who also worked with Run DMC. He was a master at creating sounds that were both catchy and a little bit mysterious. Friends is a hip-hop classic that gives you something to dance to and something to think about at the same time. Houdini told a cautionary tale about friends. The next artist on our list told tales that were much more raw, creating a blueprint for a whole new subgenre of hip-hop. 18. Schoolie D, PSK. What does it mean? Long before NWA shocked the world, a rapper from Philadelphia named Schoolie D was making music that was just as raw and unfiltered. In 1985, he released a song called PSK. What does it mean? The PSK stood for Parkside Killers, a local crew from his neighborhood. The song is widely considered to be one of the very first gangsta rap songs ever recorded. The beat is rough and simple, made with a basic drum machine. Over this beat, Schoolie D tells stories about the tough characters and dangerous situations in his neighborhood. His delivery is cool and detached, which makes the story sound even more realistic. The thing nobody tells you is the incredible influence this one song had. Rappers like Ice-T have said that when they heard PSK, it inspired them to start making music that told the real stories of their cities. It was a raw, honest, and shocking song that opened the door for a whole new type of hip-hop. Schoolie D's track was a story from one perspective, but our next track created a phenomenon by telling two sides of the same story, sparking one of the biggest response battles in music history. 19. UTFO, Roxanne, Roxanne. In 1984, a hip-hop group named UTFO released a song called Roxanne, Roxanne. The song was a story about them trying to get the attention of a stuck-up girl named Roxanne, who rejected all of them. It was a catchy song with a fun story, and it became a moderate hit. But then, something incredible happened. A 14-year-old girl from a housing project in Queens named Lolita Shante Gooden heard the song on the radio. She decided to record an answer song, pretending to be the Roxanne from the original track. Under the name Roxanne Shante, she recorded a freestyle rap called Roxanne's Revenge. In her version, she roasted the members of UTFO, calling them out in a witty and fierce way. This response record blew up. What followed was what became known as the Roxanne Wars. Believe it or not, over the next year, other artists released somewhere between 30 and 100 different answer records all about Roxanne. There were songs from Roxanne's parents, her doctor, and her little sister. The original Roxanne, Roxanne did not just become a hit. It accidentally started a massive citywide musical conversation. The Roxanne saga took hip-hop back to its roots of battling and competition. The final artist on our list also wanted to take things back to the raw and powerful sound of the old school. 20. Just Ice, Back to the Old School. By 1986, hip-hop was getting more polished. The drum machines were getting fancier and the productions were getting smoother. But a rapper from the Bronx known as Just Ice wanted to bring back the raw energy of the early days. He teamed up with the producer Mantronic to create the song Back to the Old School. The track is a tribute to the pioneers of hip-hop and a celebration of its origins. The beat is a masterpiece of early electronic production, with booming bass and stuttering edits that still sound futuristic today. Over this powerful track, Just Ice raps in a gruff, reggae-influenced style. He shouts out the old-school DJs and MCs who started it all. The song was a statement. It was a reminder that even as hip-hop grew and changed, it should never forget where it came from. What many overlooked is that Just Ice was known as a tough character because of his intimidating presence. But he was also one of the first artists to blend dancehall and reggae flows so seamlessly into his raps, a style that would become hugely popular years later. He was a true original who helped keep the old-school spirit alive.